yeah, I got you.
Where's the Sharpie at, dog?
You want me to sign it right now?
Yeah.
Just so we don't forget.
Let's start this all right.
I'm gonna sign this bitch
show
so
like
Hey, before the show gets started, you know what I'm saying? We just want to welcome you guys to the show. We got GT Garza in the motherfucking building. He gonna be the first one to sign our table right now.
Yeah.
We got GT Garza, La Makina. We'll be talking about his latest project, The Man Who Fell to Earth. And we'll be talking about history.
Well-deserved, man. Well-deserved. First artist to sign the table.
Make sure you guys stay tuned in. Texas Underground Radar. Let's go. And welcome back to the Texas Underground Radar. I am your host, JVaz, and you're watching episode number 16. Uno Seis in the motherfucking building. Joining us today, we got a special guest with us. Before we get you there, we got my co-host.
Never die.
Never die in the motherfucking building. And next one, we got a motherfucking legend in my eyes, man. We've been, been a fan of yours for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Been supporting everything you do, bro, for the longest. And definitely like what you got going on now. As a fan, I go back all the way back from the Choppaholix to the freestyle days and all that shit when you were dissing that one chick. I think that video was still on Facebook.
Hold on, I wasn't.
No, not dissing. Battle rapping and chick. Right. Yeah. You get it. Joining us today. The Makina in the motherfucking building. GT Garza, what's up, bro?
What's up? You see how you try to start me off?
He said, hold up, I want
this one chick.
Yeah, like, you know when you was dissing chicks and stuff? I'm like, hold on, man. Nah, that was a competition. Come on.
That wasn't.
All about perspectives. All about perspectives.
That's how it's good, man.
No. I had no choice, bro. I had no choice.
It was money involved, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. So, I've told you this. The last time I had you on here, we had you on here with Buns and Coast, and I rock with you. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of you, of your music. I'm a fan of everything else you do, bro. Even before I was involved in media, you know what I'm saying? I've been rocking with your shit, so it's an honor to have you here for the second time on the show. Fourth time, because you've been on the show 2 times on phone calls, you know what I'm saying, with Crystal popping, and then I can't remember what episode it was. Who did we interview when he popped up on the first call?
I don't know, watch all the episodes, you'll find it.
Yeah, you'll find it somewhere in there. Nah, but so we want to have you on here today. Want to talk about history. Want to give you your flowers, bro, because one of the purposes of podcasting, even before we started the Texas Underground Radar, one of the purposes of the JVaz show was to bring light to you guys that deserve the flowers, because we don't have these platforms for our people. You know what I mean? And obviously we make the music, we make the content for everybody, but it's also important to focus on our people as well, because the Breakfast Club does it. Every major platform does it, except for us. So we want to give you your roses, and we want to take it back. We want to take it back to day one, and then talk about your latest project, The Man Who Fell to Earth, and get all these answers that fans might have, man, because you got a lot of fans that were shooting us messages and they want to know a lot about GT Garza. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, man.
And it's like Never Die said, a lot of these interviews are like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and it's like we don't get enough.
You're a motherfucking legend, bro, when your consistency is unmatched.
Man, I appreciate that. That's real.
Like the albums, you consistently dropping, the quality, everything. So you need your motherfucking flowers, for real.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we were talking about it on the last episode. We're like, man, if there's anybody that's consistent, that's been consistent for years, is you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's something we want to talk about, bro. So let's take it to day one, man. One of the cool facts that I've always liked, man, is because you weren't born in Texas. No. You're born out in LA. But we embrace you as ours because you've been out here your whole life and you represent H-Town for everything H-Town stands for. Just talk to us about the history of you coming from LA out here. How old were you and whatnot?
Man, I was actually born in San Diego, California, in SoCal. So my whole family, my mom, my dad, my sister, my whole lineage and where I come from, they were all from Texas. Like my dad and his side of the family, they from Laredo, Texas. My mom and my sister, they from Galveston, Texas. So my dad was in the Navy, and he just so happened to get stationed in San Diego at the time that I was born. So, when I was born, I probably was in San Diego till I was like 3 years old. And then we moved back to Texas. And when we moved back to Texas, we ended up living in Galveston. So I lived in Galveston for a little while, for 16th and Church at my grandma's crib. And I would go back and forth from Laredo to Galveston for the longest time. And then we ended up moving to Houston when I was about maybe 5, 6, somewhere around there. You know what I'm saying? And I stayed off of Fontaine West Airport from 1990 till about the year 2000. And so I've always been on the southwest part of Houston basically my whole life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people be like, man, I seen you was born in Cali and da-da-da-da. But I never really got to experience the Cali lifestyle and, you know, put any, you know, groundwork out there. You know what I'm saying? So it's been one of those things, you know, to this day where I've always been trying to bridge the gap, you know, in Texas and Cali and be like, I'm going to go out there and do my thing, you know, rep Texas, but also, you know, try to get my foot, you know, prints out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You were actually on what's homeboy's name from Cali? They got that podcast.
Tony Vision.
Tony, yeah, Tony the Wizard. Shouts out to Tony. He started following me on Instagram. I felt like I was doing something. Shouts out to Tony. You know, and it's cool to see you, you know, to try to connect these cultures, man, because we're so divided and it's sad. The whole Cali culture and the Texas culture is like completely different. And you know, it's a conversation we had before and with Krim, and we're talking about how our culture originally comes from Cali, as far as the Hispanic people. Cali represents us more, but I'm like you. I was 4 years old when I came to Texas, and I feel like I represent Texas, bro. I've been here my whole life. I don't know nothing else besides Texas.
I mean, if you didn't put in no work out there, then you can't really rep that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to rep where you put in work at. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, it was just, like, you know, the first music I ever really knew or heard, you know, wasn't until my teens. And that was like, you know, DJ Screw, Lil Kiki, 3 in the morning, stuff like that, Bone Thugs and Harmony. You know what I'm saying? So I had to step out there when I got older, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And more recently, you know what I'm saying? Get out there and, you know, and really, you know, dig my feet in the sand. You know what I'm saying?
What was it that, I mean, obviously your career started off with battle rapping, but what was it that sparked that interest into, you know, the industry of hip hop?
Man, I've actually told this story a few times, man, because it's obviously how I got started. And back in the Gap, when you went to school, you used to ride the school bus. And I was in a magnet program, and to get to school every day, it was like an hour bus trip from Fontaine West Airport to like Westheimer and Highway 6. Basically Briar Forest and Highway 6. I went to Westside High School. And so on the school bus, I used to have my partners, you know, they would freestyle in the back of the bus. Like, I've heard of rap music. I had knew of rap music. I've always, like, jammed it. I had it on, you know, tapes, but I never saw it in person. And so I used to watch them beat on the back of the bus, you know what I'm saying? One used to make the beat, and the other one used to freestyle. And when I saw that, I was like, man, that shit live. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to, like, get involved in that. And it wasn't until one of my partners that rode the school bus actually battled somebody at lunchtime. And he obliterated this dude. Like, humiliated him to the point where I was like, that's what I want to do. That's how I want to be seen. That's the same recognition I want people to give me. Like, the whole cafeteria went crazy. And every day after that, when I got off the school bus, I would walk home, and, you know, the walk from your crib to your bus stop was probably a few blocks. I would just freestyle in my head. I ain't tell nobody I rap, you know what I'm saying? And I just did that every day until I felt like I was decent. And right after that, a bunch of my partners were going to this car show, and the car show was an import-export car show. Like a car, like, you know, for, like, I think it was like Fast and the Furious was like real popular at the time.
Yeah.
So there was like nothing but like those like Tokyo Drift type cars, you know what I'm saying? And so they were having a battle, and it was like 4 different battles: a DJ battle, a b-boy battle, a graffiti battle, and a rap battle. And my partners was just like, hey man, we signed you up. And I was like, what you mean you signed me up? And I was like, yo, we signed you to go battle. And so the prize was a pair of rims. And at the time, bro, I probably was like 15, 16 or something like that. I didn't have a car. So it was like, either way, if I win or lose, like I'm not.
It don't make no fucking difference to me. Yeah.
So I did the battle and I ended up winning. So when I won, one of the judges was like, "Hey man, you got you a pair of rims." And at the time, like there were 20-inch rims, and at the time 20s was like the shit.
Yeah.
Like everybody was like, "Oh man, 20s." And I was like, "Bro, like what am I do? Like walk out of here with them? Like I don't have a whip." You know what I'm saying? And so he's like, he was like, "Man, I'll give you $1,000." The judge, he was like, "I'll give you $1,000 for the rims you just won." And from where I come from, that was like $1 million.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, "Bet, give me the bread." He put $1,000 in my hand. And literally that school year, when I went back to school, I bought all my school clothes. And my mom didn't have to. So that told me, like, hey, you actually doing something for your mom and your family to take weight off of her having these 2 jobs, trying to support your fam, trying to do a bunch of shit, that you can go out there and get it yourself. Not only was it a cool feeling of winning and embarrassing people, when you embarrass somebody, it's tight. You know what I'm saying? But when you get embarrassed, you're like, oh shit.
Hey, set my shit up.
Yeah. So, you always wanted to stay on your P's and Q's, but that was really my motivation to keep going. It was like, if I could buy my school clothes every year so my mama don't have to, then I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, being one of the most consistent artists out here, when was the moment that you knew that GT Garza was GT Garza?
I didn't really have a time when I felt like, oh yeah, I'm GT Garza. When I was doing Choppaholix freestyles, DJ Overdose, I met them at a rap battle. So Sunkissed Soda, they were doing battles. They did one in Galveston, they did one in Houston. I had the one in Houston, and then they had another one a year later in Galveston. And so I went to Galveston Beach. Risky and Grade A were the 2 rappers at the time representing Choppaholix.
Shout out to Risco Funk.
Yeah, shout out my dog Risco. They were the 2 rappers at the time going off.
Yeah.
And, DJ Overdose and Kool-Aid were the DJs that were DJing. So in between each battle, they would let Risco and Grade A rap and do the parts of the show and this, that, and the third. And I've already knew and heard of them from being on the radio station. So I was a fan. I was like, bro, man, how do I meet these dudes? Like, how do I get on the radio? How do I join the Choppaholix? So, with all that, going on, I started battling. The battle ended. I won the battle. And then I just went up to him and was like, hey, man, can I get your phone numbers? Da-da-da-da. And I ended up linking up with DJ Kool-Aid. And Kool-Aid was one of the first people to tell me, hey, man, you should add Garza behind your name. Because I was really going just by GT.
GT.
And he was like, yo, if you put Garza behind your name, it'll represent a lot more. And I was like, okay, cool. So I ended up putting Garza behind my name because of DJ Kool-Aid.
Is Garza even your last name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that my rap, I'm not cool enough to come up with a rap name.
Yeah.
So GT Garza is like my real name. Like my name is Renato Tomas Garza. Like so it's GT Garza. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I just use my first 2 initials and then Garza for my last name.
He said, I'm not cool enough to come on. He's saying with me, JVaz, you know what I'm saying? It's just Julio Vasquez.
Shout out to that boy DJ Kool-Aid, man.
Yeah, shout out to Choppaholix.
Shout out to
Choppaholix.
So whenever you started fucking with the Choppaholix, man, this is around the time when I really became a fan of your music. You started dropping Maverick Muzik. You know what I'm saying? The Maverick Muzik Mixtapes, and it was like Maverick Muzik 1.5 and shit like that.
Yeah, man.
Just talk to us about the whole experience of jumping into the scene, working with Choppaholix, and starting to establish, in our eyes, maybe you didn't feel like you were establishing yourself, but in our eyes, it was like we're starting to see the GT Garza that we love now today.
Man, with the Choppaholix, they gave me an outlet to be, heard on a big scale, like being able to freestyle every Sunday on the radio. And then put me on their mixtapes, and just have, different freestyles and flows on all their series that came out. And for me, that was just like a big thing for me. Like I would write every day just so on that Sunday I would just make sure and crash, live on the air, And that was a big deal for me. So, I've always been appreciative about what they've done for me on that end. And after that, it became a time when it was like, okay, well, you can freestyle, but, how long are you going to freestyle for? You know what I'm saying? So that's when I came up with Maverick Muzik. And it was really just a way for me to start putting together tapes that I could, formulate songs, figure out what I was good at, what I wasn't good at, and then, developing myself as an artist. You know what I'm saying? So I started the series, and it was just like a big success for me because like back then you used to burn CDs. So like, Money used to let me rap in his garage, anywhere that I could rap and put a song together. Like I was there putting a song together, burning the CDs, putting the CDs together. I just go hit the streets, give them to people or sell them, whatever I could do. And that just became a way for me to be like, okay, this is how you grow as an artist, as a person. This is how you get your buzz up. This is how you, start furthering your career. And so I just kept it moving, kept it going.
Yeah.
And then when Maverick Muzik 1.5 hit, there was a guy, I want to say his name was DJ No Skills. He was the person who told me about YouTube. And he was like, yo, now that's crazy to hear.
Yeah.
Like YouTube is there's this thing called YouTube. And I don't want to make it seem like, damn, like I'm a dinosaur. But like he literally
But we are. It's like, but
yeah,
fuck.
but he would literally like, yo, there's a thing called YouTube where you could put up a video of yourself rapping and people could see it.
Yeah.
And then for me, that was one of those things that I was like, what? For real? He was like, yeah, come to my crib. I'm gonna set up a booth in my garage and just kick the dopest freestyle you got. And so he put on Lil Wayne's Best Rapper Alive beat, and I ended up spitting 52 Pickup.
Yeah.
And so when 52 Pickup came out, man, I didn't see this dude for a whole year. So I didn't know about what YouTube was. I didn't know where the song or freestyle video went. I didn't know anything. And so people were coming up to me and be like, yo, man, I seen you on YouTube. I seen you on YouTube. And I'm like, how? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? And I ended up seeing him probably about a year or two after that. And he's like, yo, man, your song's doing great on YouTube. And I was like, well, bet. He's like, man, you got a channel, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, well, can I have my username and my password so I can start, using it? He's like, yeah, I got you. He gave me the username and the password. And
So 13 years ago.
that's when YouTube came out?
Well, this is when 52 Pickup came out.
Okay, so if that's when it was uploaded, then yeah, that's about the right time. So from there, that's how I got the channel.
When it's meant for you, it's meant for you.
And I've never seen him to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like I probably met him twice, and
Damn,
he's the
that's
one
crazy.
who
It was like your angel and shit that just popped up. Hey,
Bro.
do this.
yeah,
Deuce.
and then didn't ask me for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I've never seen him to this day. So shout out to No Skills. If you still around, my G, man, I appreciate you. But he started my YouTube channel.
That's wild.
Nice.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
Because like you
facts.
said, not to sound like some dinosaurs, but fuck, we think about YouTube and, I mean, that
Yeah, dog.
13 years ago, I was fucking, I ain't gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? That's a long time ago. Damn.
Nah, I mean it was something that was new to me, but at the same time, like that just goes back to like somebody giving you free game or exposure to something that you didn't know about.
That's why I feel like every conversation that you have in this industry is important, man, because you never know what
Can come out.
up to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know what can come out of it. You don't know what this person has to offer as far as just whatever they tell you, the knowledge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's dope.
Just like I remember when Big C started Screw Video Mix. Like I was there when he was starting that shit, and he's like, bro, videos are gonna be the next big thing because of YouTube and all this. And he started Screw Video Mix, and that shit took off.
Oh,
you know
bro,
what I'm
I
saying?
was crunk to be on a hate approved DVD.
Yo.
Like bro, trust me, I was in there. You know what I'm saying?
So after Choppaholix, after Maverick Muzik and whatnot, you joined the SWAT. You know what I'm saying? The SWAT, where it was a gang of y'all motherfuckers, boy. It was like
Yeah.
everywhere. It was like 20, 30 of y'all. Everybody had the same shirts.
Yeah.
Copper was on there. Rob G, yourself.
V-Zilla.
And V-Zilla.
Rest in peace, Dolomite, 2 for 5. I actually met Rob G at a rap battle at Gallery Furniture. 97.9 was having a rap battle at Gallery Furniture. And it was like at 6, 7 in the morning. And I skipped school. Had my partner drive me all the way to Gallery Furniture, way up on the north. And literally, dog, there was a line of like 200 people, bro, standing to do this rap battle.
At 6 or 7 in the morning.
And rest in peace, Wicked Cricket, but he was the host. And literally, bro, like the line to battle was like all the way into the parking lot. And you literally stood in line and either battled the person that was in front of you or battled the person that was behind you. Because they would just let the next two people would just go up. All right, y'all battle. Get off stage. Who won? All right, bet. You go over there, you go home. Next two people. And I'm talking about, bro, I was there from like 7 in the morning to damn near like 12 in the afternoon battling. And that's how I met Rob G. And then, you know, the next time I had met Rob G was at a 97.9 car show. And he had just walked up to me and was like, yo, man, I got this thing called the SWAT. You know what I'm saying? You know, because he's from the SWAT. You know, he's from Southwest A-Leaf, Texas. But he was like, you know, I know you from the Southwest, but a different side of the Southwest. So he's like, you know, I want to call it the SWAT, but also street wisdom and talent. And I was like, man, I like that.
Nice.
And so I ended up, you know, linking up with him, and then we would be in his garage dropping freestyles, dropping mixtapes, and just rapping because he was one of the artists or, you know, lyricists that I really connected with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I respected him as an MC. And it made me want to go rap with him. So I used to go pull up on him all the time, and we would just rap, and put out tapes.
Yeah, I remember them SWAT days, man. Those were like around the time where I started to take music a little more serious, and it was always kind of looking up to you guys as, like, bro, like as a whole, they look dope as fuck. Everywhere you see one SWAT shirt, you'll see like another 20, 30 motherfuckers in there, and the support that y'all gave each other and whatnot. So one of the things that we always speak about, you know, amongst us here at the show is how consistent you are. And the reason I'm bringing that up now is because just to show the consistency of who GT has been throughout the years, from SWAT to now, there was like a big gap of, you know, a lot of the people stopped doing music. A lot of people started fading away. But one person that stood there and constantly dropped tape after tape after tape was GT Garza.
Right.
Talk to about the consistency, man, that how important that has been in your career to where, you know, from SWAT, in comes La Makina. Gears to grind.
Man.
It was your whatchamacallit?
Our motto.
Your motto. It takes gears to grind. And I mean,
I want to say, you know, it's just a passion, bro. It's just something that's, you know, like I said, since high school, once I saw it in person, it was just something that I knew that I always wanted to do. You know, I tried to play basketball, I tried to do other things, but, you know, MCing was one of those things that just always called me when I woke up in the morning. And it's something that I always wanted to do after that. And, you know, the consistency part just came with, how do I get better as an artist? How do I get better as an MC or just developing my style? How do I make better music? And the only way to do that is the same way a basketball player would do. You know, in order to get better, you got to hit the gym every day. You know, you got to work on your crossover. You got to work on your defense. You got to work on your offense. And so for me, that was the same thing with music. You know, you got to work on your craft. How do I get my delivery to sound sharp? You know, how do I double time better? You know, how do I put my metaphors together? You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I rapping about? Who am I rapping to? You know what I'm saying? Why am I even doing this? You know what I'm saying? So all of these questions come when you're developing yourself as an artist. And so a lot of music got created because I wanted to become a better artist every time. Every time I put out a song or a CD, it was just trying to better myself each time. And it just became a consistency thing to the point where it's like I never try to miss a season. You know what I'm saying? And then it was really like an obsession. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom and my pops used to tell me like, damn, bro, like when you gonna give it up? When you gonna chill? And I was just like, I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like this is all I know.
Yeah.
And I'm so far into it now that I don't want to do nothing else.
Yeah, ain't gonna make no sense now.
Yeah. So to me, it was one of those things like, hey man, it's either gonna pay off or it's not. You know what I'm saying? But if you keep going, it's bound to pay off. And I always knew that someday, like, it was gonna get to that point. So I just stayed on it every time.
Yeah, I even saw Lucky giving you props when y'all did y'all's album together. He was talking about that you one of the most consistent artists that he's ever seen.
Man.
Because there was, I tell about it all the time. It's the dark ages when shit was switching over from CDs to internet, and people were like, I can't make money. Why the fuck am I going to do music?
Yeah.
But there was a few passionate people that kept doing music like you, and that's why you where you at, because you stayed consistent, kept moving through the dark ages, and
Yeah,
you here.
and it's crazy because, you know, I always feel like especially in the Mexicano scene or just Texas rap, you know, we always have like the originators of who started music. You know, if we want to say like, you know, the SPMs, the Shut 'Em Downs, the Salty Water Records, like those are the first people that I heard on you know the Mexicano side.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? And then there was this big gap from like who knows when to when. And then now we have our new eras of MCs.
Yeah.
So me, I feel like, you know how J. Cole says like he's the middle child. I feel that because I feel like I am the middle child of the generational gap between what was going on between that era and the new era that's coming out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I just made sure and stayed with it. So during that time, I did songs with Zero, Slim Thug, Paul Wall, Lil Keke. And I just try to stay consistent as possible.
And then also establishing yourself as more than just a Hispanic Mexican artist.
Yeah.
I'm saying when you start working with these artists, it's like you're you know, getting the attention from other ethnicities and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? When you start working with the Zero, the Slim Thugs, and I think you're probably one of the few ones that have been able to do that, to be able to work with all of these people. One of the comments you just said, and I find that very interesting, you mentioned the gap between the SPMs, the Shut 'Em Down, Salty Water. No question that they had the game on lock in the early 2000s. There's no question about that, especially when it comes to Dope House. My biggest argument, and I've always been a huge Dope House fan. I would buy anything that had SPM or any Dope House artist, any project that had their name, even if it was one track, I would buy the album. But what I find interesting is when people mention that gap between that and now, was there really a gap though? Because once SPM got locked up for a couple of months, it was like, fuck, what now? Who's next? Like, what do we do? Right? Because not to disrespect Shut 'Em Down or anybody else, but once SPM got locked up, they all took a hit. Right?
Chingo came for a minute.
But before Chingo, there was Baby Bash. That's where I was going with it.
Well, Bash to me, and this is where like, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but me and Bash have an album coming out this year.
Nice.
Called Player Man Mexican 4.
Let's go.
And it's going to drop September 19th.
Yo.
And I wrote a song about Bash, giving him his flowers. You know what I'm saying? And just to let people know that he's one of the few platinum artists who did it. Went to the mountaintop, came back, and was able to be like, hey, bro, if this is how you want to do it, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I respect him for that. Because I'm not a platinum artist. So for him to even turn around and be like, hey, Garza, let's do a tape together. Or, man, let's do some music. Or, hey, man, I got this song, Crystal Blue Skies, man. You want to, you put your team on it? That let me know so much about him as a person and made me respect him even more as an artist to be like, he don't got an ego. And there's somebody who made it, came back down and was like, hey, bro, if you want to make it, this is how you do it. Follow these steps.
Bro, he's on Santana's greatest hits album.
Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? And there's only a few artists that I've run into that have helped me, like, guide me that certain way. You know, Slim Thugs, the Bashes, even the Rose and Paul Walls. Like, when people give you game, you got to listen.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? You got to, like, listen to what they say and be like, okay, cool, man, that's tight. And then, you know, you don't always have to take everything literal. Take certain things from the conversation and apply them to what you know how to do.
It's all about perspective.
Yeah, and so and over time, that's what I did. You know what I mean? So I've always given Bash his flowers for the fact that I've known since that era. Right after that, man, that boy put out Cyclone. He put out Sugar Sugar. He went off the charts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people don't really recognize or give him his full value and what he's done. But I'm like, bro, that dude is platinum. Y'all don't even know. Like, to this day, he doing 20, 30, 40 shows like every 2, 3, 4 months. Like, he's on the road always, bro. He's never going to go away because he's that dude.
Yes, I love what you're saying right now, bro, because that's where I wanted to take this to. We in Texas, and we talked about this earlier. In Texas, we just can't let go of SPM, right? And again, outside of the drama that involves the little asterisk next to SPM's name, SPM, we get it. He opened up a lot of doors, but and I'm probably gonna get heat for this too, but when you compare what SPM did, again, he opened up the doors for us. I get it. Again, if it wasn't for SPM, I wouldn't be loving this shit as much as I do, so I probably wouldn't be sitting here. But then Bash took this shit to a completely different level, and as you said, people don't give him his flowers for that. Because we get it, SPM was killing it in Texas, was starting to take this shit everywhere, but Baby Bash took it overseas, bro. China.
Well, I'll tell you like this. You have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
There has to be the Big Bang Theory. The universe started somewhere. And for us, we know SPM started it here. Maybe there was somebody else before him. We don't know. But he the one that got it jumping. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? In New York, they say Big Pun on the Latin side. He got it jumping for them. On the West Coast,
Star Pursuit.
Boom, you got Be Real. You know what I'm saying? So there was always somebody from a certain area that had to get it started to get the snowball effect and get things rolling.
And then Bash walked through that door.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So maybe it took an SPM to help open the door for another artist to come through and do what they needed to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there's always a starting point. Like earlier we were talking about like the MJs and the LeBrons and how they get compared. Well, you wouldn't have that comparison if there wasn't no Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, yeah.
So you need the Michael Jordans in order to compare him to something.
Zach from the Damn Mexican said it good on that post you put, and he had said it was a culture shock, and it really was, because that's why we all look up to him. Because I remember, like how you said the first time you were inspired when you saw Homeboy beat the Homeboy in the battle rap. When I first saw SPM perform, I was like, damn, I could really do this. It was a culture shock because you saw somebody like you on stage doing it at a high level.
Yeah.
And I was late. I didn't really hear of SPM until Time Is Money. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what album that is. I don't know like how many CDs he dropped before or whatever, but that's just when I heard him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the people that I grew up listening to was the Kikis, the Fat Pats, you know what I'm saying, and those guys. And so when I caught on, I was like, oh, okay, cool. A Mexican MC. I wasn't even rapping at the time. But it was just cool to hear. I was like, okay, cool, a Mexican MC, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you got to start somewhere. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of people just, always say that name because that's just where we know where the center point first started. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's
crazy because, yes, to what you're saying right now, I've been hearing a lot of the, OT's popping right now, right? The Mexican OT. And a lot of the comments that I see, some people talk about how, he's the first one that brought these cumbia beats into rap. But it's like Delinquent Habits did this shit in the fucking early 90s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yes, you're right. Like, somebody established that door and then...
But we also need to stop comparing
facts.
generations.
Let people be great, man.
And, just Mexicanos, period.
Yeah.
We just got to let people do their thing and grind and stop being like, so-and-so's not better than him and so-and-so's not better than him. It's like, why you just can't be happy that somebody's
he's
doing
good.
Yeah.
Hey, what you said is perfect right now. The Big Bang Theory, like that's where it starts. Yeah,
and it's like why can't y'all just be happy for somebody that's providing for their family and for their homeboys and getting them out the hood and doing things that people dream about.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we need to stop trying to like shut each other down and comparing each other to be like, oh well, he ain't like him, and it's like. You don't need to be like anybody else. You need to be like yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And take yourself to the furthest limit that you can.
Yeah.
And that's what's most important.
That's a gem. I'm like, that's a gem. So to get back on track, battle rap, Choppaholix, the SWAT, in comes La Makina. La Makina, you're partnered up with Rob G with La Makina.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you guys have history, like we said, from SWAT. And then, out of nowhere, here comes this movement where all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, GT rapping with this chick. Who is this person? Who is this chick, right? Like, who's this Crystal popping? And then when I was really excited, you know what I'm saying, it's just because sure you know how much I fuck with Coast. You bring Buns, you bring Coast into the label, and it's like, bro, you know, when I think of GT, I think of, you know, a bad motherfucker, boy. Like, you know, to me, you're like up there with the SPMs, right? So you bring in Coast, and I text Coast. When I seen y'all started fucking with, I text Coast. I was like, hey, bro, like, I'm glad you fucking with the GT now, because now you're gonna get the attention you deserve, bro. Like,
Yeah,
it's you know, you're so underrated or whatnot. But this is not about Coast. This is about the vision that GT has to bring all this talent together to La Makina. Just talk to us about that process and how it was, how you were about selecting these artists, because obviously we know they're dope as fuck now, but I just want to know what crossed GT's mind to be like, you know what, on top of being a dope ass MC, let me put together this fucking group of other talented artists that are gonna represent La Makina.
The first person that I was rocking with, we originally was called The Machine, and it was me, you know, venturing out and telling Rob, yo, I want to create like a dope crew. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always going to be me and him as a brotherhood. But in order for me to level up and, you know, do something on my own, like, I want to start a squad. And Buns was one of the first people I met from Twin Cities. You know what I'm saying? He's from the Richmond-Rosenberg area. And me and him were rapping together and rhyming together back when, like, we were doing Sticky Green mixtapes and, you know, different things, just going studio hopping and, you know, putting together freestyles. And then I want to say there was a certain year where Money Mike ended up becoming my manager, where, man, I don't even know how to say this really. Like, basically my studio got raided and I had lost everything. And I ended up sleeping on Money Mike's mom's floor for 2 weeks. And Money was like, you know, I would go outside every day and I would just like, man, them boys finna come pick us up. They finna come pick us up. And Money, after 2 weeks, came out to the porch with me and was like, yo, bro, if they were gonna come pick us up, they would have been came. And I was like, all right, well, if we good, if like I don't have to worry about nothing, like, man, I'm finna like move to Laredo and work at a Best Buy and like just disappear from the planet Earth. And Money was the person that was like, nah, bro, we not done with music. You know, it's a lot more that we can do, a lot more we can, you know, achieve. And I was like, well, what do you want to do? He's like, let's step back out there and get back to the music. And so I told Money, well, if we're going to do that, you need to make an email. I'm going to put your email in my Instagram. I'm going to put your phone number in my Instagram, and you're going to become my manager. And whatever you think that we're worth, you tell people what you think we're worth, and we'll go do it. Because literally, like, I was sleeping on his mom's floor. You know what I'm saying? And the craziest part about it, at the same time I was sleeping on his floor, bro, I had the #1 song on 97.9 called Slab. It was the shittiest, dopest part of my life. Well, one of them. It's like you're hearing your song on the radio, but you're literally, like, sitting in the hood, listening to it in the car, not knowing if, like, you finna be gone or what you gonna do next. So I couldn't do anything. I had to just let it just be on the radio and just be like, all right, I gotta let this time pass. So from that, I knew that the La Makina name just had a dope ring to it, and the machine already kind of had a stain on it.
Yeah.
A stain on it to where, you know, I knew like too many eyes was looking at it for the wrong reasons. And for me, that became a thing where it's like, well, if I change it to La Makina, a lot of people don't really like, I mean, you know, we know Spanish, so we know what it means, but, you know, other people ain't gonna know really, you know, what happened to the machine. And so we came up with La Makina, and it was me, Money, and Buns. And then I met Crystal Poppin around 2017, 2018, somewhere around there, because we were going on. And the crazy thing is, I'm jumping ahead because Money became my manager that day. And I want to say 3 years from that, he came up with a 6-city tour. And that was around 2016. I dropped a CD called The Illest. And Money had came up with a 6-city tour. Right after that, 2017, the next year, he's like, yo, I got 12 cities. I was like, what? And this is my homeboy, like, off the block. Like, this is my partner. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I got 12 cities. I was like, what? And then 2018 came, and I believe that's the year that I met Crystal. It was either 2018, 2019. But he had hit me and was like, yo, man, there's this female artist. She wants to open up for you. And at the time, I was like, what? Man, nah, bro. I ain't finna have no female open up for me, man. No. I didn't get it at the time.
Yeah.
But he's like, nah, man, they dope, da-da-da-da-da. I was like, okay, cool. So we ended up letting them be on the tour. We go to, I don't know if it's Hobbs, New Mexico. It was some city, bro, but I seen Crystal perform live. And when I saw Crystal perform live, I was like, yo, this on some other shit. Like, this is tight. And so it made me believe, like, you know, if I can help further her career and, you know, help just do certain small little things, man, she could blow the hell up. You know what I'm saying? She could do some shit. And so after the tour, I invited them to Houston to come stay at my crib. And literally, they stayed at my crib for about 3 years. And all we did every day, bro, was wake up in the morning, put on YouTube, and listen to hip-hop music. And we would sit there and jam Fabulous, Jadakiss, Fat Pat, Pimp C, the DOC from the West Coast. We would jam Dr. Dre, like whatever songs or whoever made it, we were jamming. And all I would do was sit there and be like, listen to how they put their words together. Listen to how they start their song, how they end their song. Do they always use the word I when they start a sentence? You know, are they speaking in first person, third person? Are they doing a narrative? Is it a story? You know what I'm saying? Like, these are all things that I was trying to, like, pitch to her so she could understand, like, how to sharpen her penmanship. She was already live, bro. You know what I'm saying? And so I was just going in there and being like, these are certain ways that you can come at the beat and people be like, yo, you killing it. So then, you know, we started connecting on a music vibe to where it was like we dropped Big Bags, My Enemy's Enemy, Jedi Flow. That was our first record together. And that was really a test for the both of us. Because Jedi Flow was us going back and forth and making it seem seamlessly.
Yeah, that was it.
Like, and how do you go about doing that? You know what I'm saying? You got to have a dope chemistry. You know what I mean? And we understood what we were trying to do. We respected each other enough as MCs to be like, bro, we could do this. You know what I'm saying? So around that time, we were going to go on a 20-city tour. And then the fucking pandemic hit.
Fucking COVID, yep.
And we weren't able to capitalize off the situation. So until this day, fans have never seen us perform Jedi Flow, My Enemy's Enemy, Big Bags, you know what I'm saying, Big Face Hunnets. Like, we've yet to perform those songs together. So just recently, me and KP talked about doing a whole, you know, EP together and then going on tour again, now that kind of things lightened up, performing the songs that, you know, the supporters and people want us to do. And then, you know, also do a new batch of music.
I didn't even know that because I saw y'all at the Galveston show right before the pandemic started.
Yeah, we were going to go on a 20-city tour.
Yeah.
You know, me and her was going to go out there, rock it, kill it, and then boom, pandemic, shut all that down. And, you know, but during that time, you know, I had always knew Coast. You know, Coast was always somebody that I would run into at, you know, shows, events, you know, wherever I would be at, and we just respected each other mutually as lyricists and MCs. And like you said, Coast is probably one of the dopest MCs to come out of hip-hop, period.
Underrated.
There's not too many people that can rhyme with this guy.
Facts.
Yeah.
So anybody that's a part of my crew or anybody that, like, I like to do songs with are people that I respect as artists. Because when we get in a booth or a studio together, we're competing with each other, but at the same time, we're trying to make a jam.
Yeah.
So it's like we're past the point of, oh, I'm just going to kill you on a record, you're just going to kill me on a record, and we ain't going to have no hook.
Still got to have chemistry.
Yeah, you got to develop that.
Yeah.
So we knew, all right, we all dope, we all cool, but how can we make dope-ass records and still kill this shit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so me and him had a couple conversations, and I was like, just come to my crib, bro. We'll make some music. You know what I'm saying? If you vibing what we doing, then, you know, let's connect a few dots and let's, you know, join up, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dope, man. Like I said, it's a fan. It was dope as hell to see. I'm like, oh, shit. And then, you know, within my friend circle outside of the industry, around that time, we started seeing my boy Escobar, Castro Escobar started hanging with. I was like, damn, GT trying to get everybody on this motherfucker. Like, boy, is fucking Makina finna be the truth, boy.
That's the homie, man. And the crazy thing is, like, you know, it's all organic. You know what I mean? Like, even when we came out with the song "Fuck with a Mexican," we didn't do that on purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't in the studio saying, "Oh man, how do we rally up, you know, all the Mexicanos and make everybody crunk?" It was just like, "Hey, bro, we working on a tape called Brown by Honor. It's the trilogy, which we called the Trinity because it was three of us, me, Buns, and Coast, and we were just trying to jam. And when I was like, okay, we need some kind of concepts to go with the title, but we also just need to focus on jamming."
That was a dope ass project,
bro. It's one of my favorite tapes I ever done.
Yeah.
And it's because as a collective, like, nobody there has to babysit each other. Nobody there has to hold each other. Like, I don't never have to go into the studio and wonder if Coast is gonna drop a dope verse.
Yeah.
I don't ever have to wonder if Buns or Chris are gonna drop a dope verse. I know they're gonna drop dope verses. Like, that's a given. So all I gotta do is pick the right beat, or all they gotta do is pick the beat, and then we come up with the hook. Hey man, I don't even care what y'all finna do on y'all verse. I know y'all gonna kill it. Let's kill it and move to the next one.
The Return of the Brown was like the perfect way to kick off that project. Like,
yeah, bro.
That beat, everything on that track was dope as hell. So my question about that project, man, you dropped a project this year, which we're about to get into that. But my question of Brown by Honor, why we didn't get that many visuals?
Well, that goes to say with why I'm doing EPs at the moment. Because I feel when you do CDs that have 12 to 14, 15 songs, off of any CD, not even if it's just mine, I'll ask y'all, how many videos do you guys expect an artist to shoot off of one CD?
Me personally, about 3 or 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4. I said 3 or 4.
Okay. That leaves, if you do a 14-track tape, that leaves how many songs with no video?
Damn, you're right. Fucking 11 tracks.
So you're really having people pay attention to 4 songs, and then your main, you know, fan base or the people that really jam you are going to go hear those other 10. And then whoever's just not a fan and just saw the videos, they only know those 4 records. So you got 10 songs sitting around that aren't getting the same eyes on them that they deserve, because you put your heart and soul into these records. So they may not be the singles that you shot videos to, but if you could, you would shoot a video to every one of them, because you care about every one of these records. And you love these records. So I feel like when you do 14 to 15 track albums, even 12, 13, there's, you know, you're bound to shoot, you know, 2 to 3 videos off of, you know, every CD. Then you got 8, 9, 10 songs that aren't getting the attention that they deserve.
Yeah.
So that's why I decided to drop back and do EPs. Because if I can do 7 to 8 songs, I know I'm going to shoot 2 to 3 videos off of each one. You know what I'm saying? And if you did 14 songs, bro, you can basically split that in half, have 2 EPs, and be ready for each quarter.
Yeah.
You be ready for the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, or if you want to take the middle of the year to do some other shit and drop third quarter, you know that you got the music. You don't have to sit there and rush. You have to sit there and bust your ass and be like, oh, damn, I need another 14 songs. That's 28 songs in like 6 months.
Yeah.
That's a lot of music. So you kind of just got to think smarter in what you're trying to do and let just people understand, or even yourself understand, like, all right, if I drop these 7 songs or these 14 songs, when is the next time I'm going to drop again? And if you're not going to drop again for a while,
you're playing yourself.
Bro, you need to split that shit up.
Yeah.
Because out of sight, out of mind.
Especially nowadays, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
And we're talking to Mr. Consistency, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you just want to go about it in a way that you work smarter and not harder. You know what I'm saying? So if it takes doing EPs, bro, if somebody can't be a fan or decide if they like you in 7 to 8 songs, then it ain't the music that's the issue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just not a fan. Or they want to hear something else. When they used to make demo tapes, how many tracks were on a demo tape?
About 5 or 6.
We'll say 3, 5, 3, 4, 5. Because if you can't win somebody over in 3, 4, 5 songs, you're not gonna win them over, bro.
Yeah.
So why are you giving them 14 songs?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Gems.
You can
But
get,
I think when it's the right artist, like say Kendrick Lamar, like his
Yeah.
last album,
Well, yeah,
like
but
a
it's
Coast.
because I'll tell you like this: when you get to a Kendrick Lamar status, every song you drop is gonna get 1 million views.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Millions of streams. But if you're still working your way up, or you're still trying to build and grind it out, not every one of your songs is gonna get 100,000,
No, facts.
500,000, 1 million views. You'll get your 1 or 2 records that you shot the videos to get that, but your other songs may have like 10,000, 20,000,
Yeah.
30,000 views. You know what I mean? And that's not a bad thing, but you want to make your music count.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you worked hard on that music. You said some shit on that song that you want people to hear.
Yeah.
It's still the Wild Wild West out here. We trying to figure out formulas to make things work in the music industry because things have changed and evolved so much.
Yeah, and I'm not saying don't put out a 14-track album if you want to. Like,
Yeah.
man, do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Whatever makes you feel comfortable and however you want to present your music, do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just in my opinion, the reason I do EPs is because I want to focus on the songs that I know that I can get across. And if people have a shorter attention span, maybe that's all they need to hear just to be like, yo, that shit was dope.
Yeah. I think you were gonna ask something before I cut you off. Before I ask that question.
I think he was finna ask for a shot.
Is that where we at on the
You
show?
need a shot? You
Is that
need a
where
shot?
we at?
I think he was finna ask for a shot. My homie over there.
Lay the fuck out. Gee, Lord.
But I was gonna give you props though, like being Mr. Consistency when you in my eyes, when you evolved is when you got Crystal popping.
shot, Anna?
Like you took it to a whole nother level in the game
I'm saying you want one?
because you was Garza and then you became executive.
I think, to be honest with you, you know, we're gonna pull up live. This is what we do. This is how
That's what we do, man.
Yeah, let me get you first.
So it's how Never Die Guys is over here. Just stop the show in the middle of, you know
Nah, we good. We good.
what I'm saying, and pull up a little bit. Yeah, you good, you good.
Here you go, Miss Maze.
Anime's in the building.
G, you good over there?
Shit.
Cheers, my brother. Cheers, cheers, cheers.
One time for the good times.
Hey, we giving people their flowers today. Know what I'm talking about?
Ooh, hold on.
No, I was saying to me, you've been so consistent, but when you definitely, well, in my eyes, when you evolved is when you signed Crystal Poppin'. Because then you became more of executive role and you were also giving to the culture more. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. I think me and KP really helped each other. You know what I mean? Like, I had never took a position where I was like sitting back trying to help an artist, you know, do their thing. You know, and I can't even take full credit for Crystal. I want to shout out to Diaz Jr. and 3 AM, you know, her team and her staff, because they did a lot with KP. You know what I'm saying? All I tried to do was, you know, open a few more, you know, doors and introduce her to a few more people. You know what I'm saying? You either got it or you don't.
Yeah.
And for Crystal, I mean, off of meeting her, seeing, you know, her live, doing her music, you can tell that she just got it. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't think I did anything that raised the bar on her. How can I say? Man, it's crazy to put this in words. I don't feel like I did anything to raise the bar that she couldn't have done on her own. You know what I'm saying?
But we know how this industry is, and a lot of people don't give helping hands, just like you talked about Bash. Like, that's why I've always fucked with Bash, because he'll give you a helping hand.
Exactly.
And you giving Crystal a helping hand put her in a whole new light, just like Jedi Flow. Because she's sitting here going bar to bar with Garza. So that speaks volumes of who she is as an artist.
And that's another thing, too. Like, when we made Jedi Flow, we also wanted to have people, you know, see her as like somebody who could keep up with like a MC like myself, or somebody that was rhyming really tough and trying to like be a super lyricist.
Yeah.
And I think once people saw Jedi Flow and saw how much she was able to rap alongside of me and be able to like go off, it puts it on a different level.
Yeah, that's when I was sold.
Yeah,
like
because,
Crystal
you
Papa
know,
go hard.
if we were to link up with KP and be like, oh, KP, go do some like girl songs the first time that I met you, like the respect level probably wouldn't have been the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you want people to respect her as an MC and as a lyricist before anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it be male, female, pop, whatever. If you can rap, you can rap.
Because at the end of the day, that's what we do.
Yeah, dog. So that was the first thing I wanted to get across when I met Crystal. It's like if people know you can rhyme and you can go off, they'll never second guess your talent ever again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what we did.
That's around the time you drop your drink here, which we're about to talk about. You partnered up with Exotico, whatever y'all want to call it, Cool Cup Juice, GT Garza, Oceanic, Blue Coconut. This is around the time you dropped this drink, man. Talk to us about the partnership and the drink itself.
Man, shout out to them, bro, for holding me down. You know, I've always wanted to link up with them. But at the time, you know, I just didn't have anything to connect. You know, La Makina or, you know, Brown Bahana, like, I didn't really have a marketing theme behind how I was going to connect with the brand. So luckily when I made Sometime in the H, I made a song on there called Oceanic. And it's basically talking about candy paint.
Yeah.
And so Oceanic being blue, you know, dealing with the ocean and the water, it made me realize that the best marketing, you know, tool was to link up with them and do a drink to go with the record. So that's what we did. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what a La Makina juice or a Brown Bahana juice or, you know, a Richie Vat. So it just all lined up perfectly to the point where we was like, okay, yeah, man, Oceanic, you got the song, we're gonna shoot the video. It all lines up. The drink makes sense. Like, let's line it up. So it was a dope marketing tool. So, you know, shout out to them, bro, for locking in with me and, you know, just allowing me to be a part of, you know, their company.
I've noticed that you very calculated. Like every move you make, you do with purpose. Because if Garza ain't pushing nothing, then he ain't gonna do it. Like
Man,
he needs to be pushing something. So
that.
and that's smart. That's smart business.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
It's just the GT way, man.
Yeah.
Oh. So we do have this drink, man. We're about to try it. I just text Animes. Hope she got the text message.
Animes and Crystal Pop and EP coming soon.
Coming soon. So we do want to try this drink, man. We got it as soon as it dropped. Like I said, I fuck with you heavy, bro. On you know, on some real shit. So as soon as I seen you drop, I hit a money. I was like, hey, bro, let me get a case of this shit, man. Bro. And thank you, Anna. Shouts out to Anna. And I don't know if you want to try your own drink, dog. I mean,
y'all go ahead, man.
I'm sure you've already had it.
Y'all say something for
Anna,
yourself,
can we
man.
get some cups, please?
It's all
Thank
y'all,
you,
man.
Anna.
Hey, I drink out the bottle.
Straight out the bottle. You know what I'm saying? We're just trying to represent the whole pop Exotico, and you know, and give you guys some feedback. Anna, you want to try the drink?
Yeah, I actually tried it. It's really good.
Oh, you already tried it?
Really, really good.
Can we get that on camera?
Oh, that shit smells good as hell.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Hell yeah. You oh, he already drinking out of it. GT,
Yeah.
you want your own cup?
Nah, I'm good. I'm sipping.
I ain't sharing with nobody.
I got me on this alcohol, man.
So we got extra drinks here now to promote.
Hey, that tastes like a cool cup for real.
I'm telling you, bro. That shit good.
I haven't tried it yet, but it smells good. I'm gonna go ahead and pour the whole thing in there. Dang, that shit smell good, dog.
Trying to think what liquor I can put with it.
Right.
Okay.
have
Anybody
a-
said the Malibu Road go
I have
good
a
with
pool
it?
party tomorrow. I'm gonna pour up a couple cups. Hell yeah. Hold on.
Check it out.
Oh, we having a pool party tomorrow?
Yeah.
Let me find out.
Hey, that shit is good.
Hell yeah.
Like for real, that
Yeah.
shit is good. Man,
I'm telling you, man.
Hey, Garza ain't gonna put his name behind some of that bullshit.
I'm telling you.
That shit good in the mud, bro. I'm telling you.
You know what would make it better? Feels alcoholic. No, so yeah, that's where, you know, you put out the drink around that time. Fast forward, a couple months later, again, Mr. Consistency don't take no breaks. So a couple months later, we got a new project, as we mentioned earlier.
On a whole different vibe.
On a whole different vibe. The Man Who Fell to Earth. Fast forward to that project. You just dropped this, like we said earlier. You just dropped it today at midnight. Before we get into the project itself, one of the things that Never Die here, first thing he noticed was something we talked about, Crystal popping with it, was obviously you're La Makina, but so the Man Who Fell to Earth. You just told us the meaning behind the project. I mean, behind the name. I fuck with it because we get to see the lyrical version of GT. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very I'm a big fan of artists that are lyrical. Every now and then I like to listen to everything else, but like I said, Never Die texted me this morning. He's like, I'm listening to this. I can't help but think JVaz fucks with this. I was like, hell yeah, I fuck with this. So just talk to us about the whole mindset, you know, with putting this project together and why it had to be the way it was put together. Obviously, the meaning behind the project, so you had to come a certain way when it came to putting this project together. But just talk to us about the project as a whole and how you feel about it and the feedback that you get. It just dropped today, but the feedback you're getting thus far.
For me, I feel like, you know, I was able to say a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have said before.
Yeah.
Just being a conscious MC. But I also felt like I wanted to have an edge to it. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to say a lot of shit so people would be like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, where he going with it with this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just for the fact that I've always kept it so cool, man, and just so chill that, you know, I feel like sometimes that affects the music. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I want to go off.
Talk your shit, King. Talk your shit.
For real.
Yeah, dog, like I wanna go off and say shit that I feel and not feel like. I mean, let's be honest, bro. A lot of us do music because that's our outlet to vent.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way. That's our therapy. You know what I'm saying? That's the way that we are able to get our emotions out. And for me, you know, The Man Who Fell to Earth was a way for me to say a lot of things that I've been wanting to say. And just, you know, talk a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Like,
before we go into these fan questions, I did this with Coast, man, and I've messaged you before, but I'm one of those people, and I would always tell my ex-girl, man, I was like, I'm one of those people that wear my emotions on my sleeve, and I like to let people know how I feel about things and give people their flowers in person. Again, you might not know this. I told the same thing to Coast. You might not know this. But whenever we did the interview, whenever Brown by Honor, the Trinity came out, around that time, in my head, I was done with podcasting, right? I was like, I'm done with podcasting. My dad had just passed away. They had just told me I probably had lung cancer. So in my head, I'm like, bro, my dad just died. I'm about to fucking die. Fuck podcasting. But then in comes money. Hey, bro, we want to bring GT. You want to bring Coast. And again, I look up to you guys. You guys are a big deal to me. You know, and it was like, as much as I want to be down podcast, and I had just turned my studio in. I was like, that's how deep I was into not podcasting no more. So then when I was like, bro, but I'm about to have GT on the fucking show. Like, I cannot say no. And if this is my last show, then at least I know I had GT, Coast, and Buns on my show.
Facts.
After I did the interview with you guys, like that day, it made me forget about everything else. Like, it made me forget that I had just gone to the doctor 3 days before, and they were like, you got a spot on your lung, and it's covering 90% of your lung, blah, 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 blah. And those 45 minutes that I spent talking to you guys about music and all this shit, it made me forget about everything else. And I was like, bro, I'll forever be appreciative of you, yourself, Coast, Buns, and Money for giving me the opportunity to sit down with you guys and talk to you guys about music and everything you guys had going on. Because after that, it sparked the interest right back up. And I was like, you know what? If I am to fucking die from lung cancer, then at least I'm doing something I love. And one thing my dad would always tell me, I remember I told my dad years back, I was like, you know, I think I'm about to quit this podcast shit. He's like, what you gonna do? I was like, just work. He's like, if you're gonna quit anything, quit your job. I remember he told me that. So I took that into whenever I was interviewing you guys, and I was like, you know what, fuck this. I'm about to just keep doing this shit. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time at that time. You didn't even know. To you, it was probably just another fucking interview. But to me, it was kind of like a awakening moment to be like, like, bro, this is really what
Man,
I
that's
like
real.
what I like doing. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate
Hey
it.
man, keep that shit going, bro.
I appreciate you, bro. But again, I just wanted to give you your flowers and say thank you in person because it meant a lot. It meant a lot to sit there and talk to you guys. It made me forget about everything else that was going on in life and whatnot. But I just wanted to tell you that
Real shit.
we do get on Instagram and we tell people to shoot us some questions for you. We got some of the questions on here we're gonna ask. First, it's not even a question; it's more of a suggestion. Somebody said, "Ask GT to please drop a 2022 version of 52 pickup on the same beat." Is that a possibility?
You know what's crazy though? Like the funny thing is, I've been making music for a long time, and when I go to shows, people yell, "Do 52 pickup," and I be like, "Damn, dog, did I not make any music like better than that since then?" Like it makes you think like, "Damn, yo, like that must be when I peaked or something." You know what I mean? I've thought about doing another 52 pickup, but it's so much weight that comes with that. That it's like if you don't do it justice,
Yeah.
then people gonna be like, bro, you should have just saved that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you shouldn't even wrote that shit.
Yeah.
And that's just one of them songs you just don't want to touch. You know what I'm saying? That's just one of those things that you like. I appreciate what it's done for me and people for loving it because it really molded me who I am today. But for me to go back and try to like redo it and think that I'm gonna do it even better, it's a
It's a challenge.
It's a coin flip. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because it could be better, but in certain people's mind, they'd be like, ain't nothing ever going to be better than that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just something that you just don't want to touch. You know what I mean? You just like, you know what? Let's leave that at that. I'll perform it at a few shows. But like, for me to try to recreate that same energy, that same vibe, better bars, and give all the fans what they think is a better 52 pickup is damn near impossible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because even if you do come spit harder, certain bars from that old flow are still going to stick out to you in your head and be like, nah, bro.
He didn't outdo it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just got to let that one go.
You answered this one earlier. You said that you got a project you're working with Crystal Poppin. One of the questions was any new music with KP. You did mention you guys were working on a project together. Another question is which major artist would you love to collab with?
Major artist. Can we do producers?
That'll work. Still an artist. Still art.
I would say like a Pharrell. Pharrell, The Alchemist, DJ Khalil. Definitely producers.
Yeah.
Definitely on the production side.
Another one of the questions here, and shouts out to all the fans that submitted these questions. We're just gonna hit 2 more questions on here, but shouts out to all of you guys for taking the time to drop these questions. Is he planning to drop one of the new tracks as a radio hit? Got a few on that new project. Got a few that he can on the new project.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't really shoot for radio songs anymore. I don't really like go into the studio and say, man, I'm gonna make a radio song, I'm gonna make a radio record. I kind of just let the vibe and the music do its thing and see where that takes me. I've always tried to make the biggest songs possible, but you can never chase radio. You know what I'm saying? Because, it's just something you don't own. It's something that, you could spend your whole life trying to grasp and never catch it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you sit there and try to just make radio songs your whole life, you're probably never going to give the people the real you. You know what I'm saying? Because the radio probably has like, oh, you need certain stipulations to make the, this or that. And it's like, I don't want to treat my music like I have to format it for radio. I want to format it, for myself and the people that support me.
Yeah.
So
my bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. So, if a song comes out of anything that I make that could sound radio friendly, cool. But, if it doesn't, then, we just gonna keep making them.
Yeah.
That's one thing I say. Like all your projects always definitely have a vibe to them, and that's real dope. Like you do album projects,
Man, I appreciate it.
It's a whole body of work.
Well, there was a time when I really tried to like push for radio. You know what I'm saying? It was like, oh man, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like when people make CDs or tapes, they're always like, yo, we need that one girl song on the CD.
Yeah.
And it's like, who said that?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It is because they think the girl song is the one that's for the radio.
For the radio.
Pop, yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't need that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can make a girl song if you want to, but don't force it on the CD just because you think it's the most, like, pop version of you, or it's the most, one geared towards the radio. Like, don't let any outside interference mess with your creativity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Stick to what you like doing, what you know how to do. If you want to shoot towards the radio, cool. But, like, just do you.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say is your music's always very positive, kind of like on a comedian vibe. Like, it's not like you're saying I'm positive, but your music's always very motivated and go get it and I'm here, and you know what I'm saying?
The crazy thing is, to be honest, off of this new album, The Man Who Fell to Earth, it's probably one of the only songs I've really cursed on in about 100 songs, bro.
Damn, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, hold up. What?
Like, bro, I don't curse in my
Yeah.
raps. Like, you can listen to Brown Bar on the 3, Richie Valens, Young Mexico, Maverick Muzik. You can listen to Sometime in the H. There are no curse words. Like, I don't curse. You know what I mean? And I don't do it like
Intentionally.
I
Yeah.
it's just not something I'm just like, I don't need to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Before we get into this last question, now that you bring that up, I always find very interesting, the words you say and things you say. So it made me wonder, do you read a lot? Random ass question. But you know what I'm saying? Because you can hear
Yeah,
it on your
facts.
music. So it made me wonder if do you read a lot, and that's how you're able to speak a way where a lot of these people don't have that.
Nah, I can't sit here and lie and say I read a lot. I just digest music to the point where I study other artists. I study other lyricists that I, admire and I appreciate. And I dissect how they put their records together. I dissect what beats they pick. And like I said earlier, how are they putting the song together? Things that me and Crystal, used to sit at my crib and chop it up about. I used to tell her, like, you don't always have to use the word I. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you're going to say, I jumped into a car. Why don't you just drop the I and just say, jumped into a car? You know what I'm saying? People always use the word like when they rhyme. I'm like this, I'm like that, I'm like a cheetah, I'm like this, And there's ways to say that without using the word like, so you don't have to sound so repetitive. And every couple bars, you're saying, oh, I'm dope like this, I'm fly like this, I'm hard like this. It's like, there's other ways to get around it. So I think more studying music and, putting that towards what I'm doing just helped me become a better artist and a better writer.
Yeah.
And what I was trying to put out. You know what I'm saying? And that just goes with consistency and just being like, I've always wanted to just better myself, than what I did before.
Yeah. Last question
I
on
wish
here.
I did read.
So wait till I start opening the book.
Wait till I
It's over for y'all motherfuckers.
wait till I read that one book.
Last question we're gonna read of Instagram from everybody. Shouts out to you guys for these questions. Coming up, who was the top 3 Latin artists you worked with that you thought went hard?
Top 3 Latin artists that I work with that went hard.
That's a setup question too.
That is a good question. I want to say Baby Bash, Doe Man, and a third artist, Crystal Poppin'.
Man, I ain't never
I'm
heard Doe Man and Garza. I gotta hear that.
It's on the mixtape.
and we got a song
Man's
on his
mixtape.
album. I
Yeah,
got me and him
album.
on his tape, and I can't leave out my brothers Buns and Coast, because Coast will probably always be one of my favorite Mexicano MCs, if not just MCs, period. That's why I like rhyming with him. He always makes me step my game up.
So
You know what I
it's
mean?
like a friendly competition to.
Yeah, and then when you get Buns bring that just gangsta out. You know what I'm saying? He don't give a fuck about nothing.
Yeah. Doman GT on the Doman's latest project, Barrio God. I think the track's called TOT or something like that.
Okay.
But they got a track together.
Dope. I'll take that.
Yeah, man, I love rhyming with that dude.
Yeah.
Good dude.
Yeah. This is more on a personal note. I guess I want to ask you this, man. This is just one of those things that, again, seeing how much work you've put on into this industry, and you know, like I said, you got the artists, you got the drinks, you got 3-4 mixtapes, EPs in a year, you got the air fresheners and everything. What has been, in your opinion, bro? What has been the biggest accomplishment in your career thus far?
Biggest accomplishment in my career thus far, I would say being able to take me and my homeboys on the road and being able to take us out of state and see new places and, you know, new experiences, and being able to rock stages, you know what I'm saying, across the country when, you know, it all started from a garage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just one of those things that no matter where I end up, you know, MC-wise or, you know, in life, like, I'll never forget, like, it started from a garage. You know what I'm saying? And now, you know, you got hundreds or thousands of people showing up to shows to watch you rock, and you're doing it with your best friends. You're doing it with your people that you came up out of nothing with. So, you know, if music ended for me tomorrow, I'd still be kicking it with my same partners talking about, hey, man, you remember that show we wrecked? You know what I'm saying? And so-and-so, and
Creating those memories together.
yeah, dog. So, you know, one of the best things that I would say is just being able to do it with my homeboys and, you know, experiencing new things in life with them.
Yeah. It's dope, man.
That's for shit show.
Hey, once again, make sure you guys stream the new project, The Man Who Fell to Earth, available on all streaming services now. The latest EP from La Makina himself, GT Garza. Before we let you go, any last words? Never die.
You got the butter?
Huh?
You got the butter?
I got the butter. Go ahead, butter them up.
Hey Garza, you got the motherfucking crown. I want to appreciate you for everything that you've done for the culture.
Thank you, bro.
Keep moving things forward and inspiring and creating. Much love, man.
Thank you, dog. I appreciate that.
Any last minute words from GT Garza himself?
Man, I appreciate y'all for having me. You know, thank you for telling me what you told me about, you know, coming up off the podcast and being able to do it again. Yeah, that means a lot. Make sure and jam The Man Who Fell to Earth. You know, keep vibing with the music, man. Keep doing your thing, and, you know, I'll see y'all again.
Hey, first stop of the tour.
First stop of the tour, The Man Who Fell to Earth.
Yeah.
Available on all streaming services. He'll also be in Fort Worth, Texas next week at the Centro Popular alongside Camillionaire and 3-6 Mafia, Cap G, and everybody else. Once again, GT Garza. Check out the drink. Make sure if you haven't tasted it yet. Shouts out to Pop Exotico. The Man Who Fell to Earth, available on all streaming services. I'm JVaz.
Never die. Salute, bro.
GT Garza, we appreciate you, bro.
Hey, man, always.
Where them haters at? Texas motherfucker, Texas motherfucker, Texas motherfucker. Where them haters at? Texas motherfucker.